Hello, I'm Refashionista Sheri, and if you love all things upcycled and DIY and refashion, then go ahead and subscribe, have a look through all of my literally hundreds of fab free tutorials here on my channel and over on my blog as well. And yeah, let's figure out what we're gonna do today. Okay, so I did actually have an idea of what I wanted to do today, but I'm now looking at this dress and it's really, really big. Like, it's super huge on me. I got it because, you know, the whole oversized trend and everything, and this is supposedly my size, and it is supposed to fit oversized, but I think it's like way too oversized. But you know what? Let me know down below if you'd like me to do a tutorial on, you know, downsizing this, and I'll see what I can do. But today, I have to tackle something that I have had circulating and percolating in my Refashionista brain for way too long. And yeah, you know when you get one of those ideas and it just kind of stays there and then it'll go away for a bit and then it comes back again with a vengeance and you're like, oh my God, I have to figure out how to make this thing. Otherwise I'm going to go mad. That's what we're going to do today. So let's go check my fabric cupboard. All right, here is my groovy fabric cupboard here, and a lot of these are actually vintage thrifted linens that came over from Berlin, Germany when we moved over here, and there's like so many that are so awesome. But today's idea that I have, I need like a square tablecloth in like a cool pattern, and I know I have a polka dot one that looks very 1960s, 70s. Oh, there it is right there. Got it. Okay. So this, look at that. How cool is that? I think this is going to be enough fabric, but let's just go check and be sure. You see, how cool is this? And it is quite a lovely linen feeling type of fabric, but I just really love this pattern. Clearly I am a fan of polka dots. And oh, here, you can have an even better look now at the hugeness of this dress. But again, it's supposed to fit oversized and it is in my size. I just think it's way too oversized. So do let me know. As I said, let me know if you want me to show you how I would take in something like this. Anyway, let's get back to this one. Okay, so I have been wanting to make one of those super supposedly simple tie around wrap tops for quite a while now. And I think this just might be enough fabric. So in my mind, you just are gonna like cut a hole for your head, right? Like so. Oh, it might not be long enough. Let's try it the other way. Okay. I mean, it's not a perfect square. So, okay. So if I cut here for my head hole, look, that should be okay. And then I think the whole goal is that your fabric has to be wide enough to wrap around your body, right, on both sides, clearly, because the idea is that you're going to have a front piece that wraps around in back, and then the back piece is going to wrap around in the front, and it's going to be a cute little wrap top, I hope. We'll see. Let's go try it. For this hopefully quick and easy project, all you need is a piece of fabric that can comfortably wrap around your body. And for this one, I'm using a very cool vintage tablecloth, but I also think a pillowcase would work fabulously. And these kind of cool patterns and wonderful linens can, of course, always be found either at home in your own linen closet or at the thrift shop. Now, before we get started, we of course have to do some awesome vintage tag appreciation here, because I thrifted this when I was still living in Berlin, Germany, and you can tell that from the tag because it says it is Baumwolle and Viskose, and here the label says Tischlein Deck Dish, which is actually a fairy tale from the Brothers Grimm. And the meaning of that is simply little table make yourself. And I believe the English title of that fairy tale is called The Wishing Table. So if you want to look it up, you can. All right. And you'll also need something to use for the ties to tie the shirt so it stays on your body. So as always, I have my little storage box of ties that have either come with garments that I've thrifted, like this was a fabric belt that came with a vintage dress, or these I actually chopped off of a shirt. I'm really not sure. I have so many of these because they work so well when you are doing these kind of projects and you need a strap for something or ties for something. Like, why would I buy something new when I have these really cool colors and patterns already on hand? But because my tablecloth is white, I think I need to go for a lighter color. All right, so the ties are going to be going on the side here, and look at this. I have the perfect brown, but I only have one, so this is not going to be used, unfortunately. That is one of the drawbacks of only using upcycled and recycled materials. You know, you kind of got to work with what you already have. So I think the clear winner here is the white one, because white makes sense to me. There is a little bit of blue on this because it was from a tie-dyed outfit. But I think that's fine. I'm not going to worry about that. So now let's finally get to making this adorable shirt. Okay, so because this actually has a polka dot pattern on it, and I've measured it, and it is very well centered, I could simply chop out this center circle, and hopefully that would be big enough for my head hole. But of course, not everybody's going to have perfectly aligned circles. So this is how I would normally figure out my neckline, just by simply folding this in half, first widthwise, and then folding it in half lengthwise, or is that lengthwise, widthwise? I don't know. Anyway, fold it in half twice, and then you're left with this lovely little point. And you can see here, here's my perfect little circle area. So I'm just gonna chop off that point and give it a nice circular edge here. So there's my lovely circle, and I mean, it's not actually perfectly chopped out, but whatever. So I'm not sure if this is going to be big enough to put over my head, so I'm going to try it on. But always remember, it is better to chop less than you think you need, because you can always chop more. It's pretty difficult to put little pieces of fabric back on, so I always recommend chopping less than you think you need. So I did end up having to chop off a little bit more, and because this is quite a fraying linen type of fabric, I had to go ahead and hem up that raw edge because it was just fraying too much. But it was very, very simple, just a quick straight stitch, and now I can finish off the neckline. So I've grabbed my box of adorable vintage embroidered trims here, and I think clearly there's a clear winner, right? I first was thinking this one, but yeah, no, it has to be the flowers, I think, because I mean, the colors are just pretty darn perfect. So I am going to go stitch this around the neckline, and I think that's going to really finish it off and make it look adorable, and then we can put the ties on, and then it's going to be done. Okay, that looks absolutely adorable, and it also has the bonus of stiffening up the neckline, so I think it's going to stand up very nicely. And you may recognize this trim if you have been with me for a while, because I thrifted it years and years and years ago, but I actually didn't use it until 2017 when I thrifted a vintage Playsuit that needed some help. So I'll link that tutorial down below for you. Okay, I have my tie here, and I have folded it in half evenly, so I'm just going to chop it into two pieces, and then I will fold each of those pieces in half once again. So I'm going to have 4 pieces. So I have my 4 ties all finished here, and because this is jersey fabric, it's not going to fray, which is awesome. So I simply knotted the ends, and I'm going to set 2 aside, and I grab my almost done what are we calling this? An apron shirt? Let's call it an apron shirt. Okay. Anyway, so you can see here, the edges of my tablecloth were slightly different. So we had one stitched and hemmed finished edge, and then the other side here was just the kind of completed edge of the original fabric. So all I did was fold over that unfinished side and give it a nice press to hold it in place. Then I can grab one of my ties and put it in between the folded fabric there. And then when I go and hem up this edge, I'm just going to be, you know, securing my side ties at the exact same time. And so I'm going to go do that on all of my 4 corners, and then it'll be done. So all of my ties are on now, and they are very, very secure. So let's go and try this on and style it up. So how do we wear our lovely new apron style top? Well, you put it on, clearly, and you're going to grab the ties from the back and simply tie them here in the front. Really, really, really simple. Now, because mine is kind of short because it was a square instead of a rectangle, I actually tuck my ties there. And then I'm going to grab the front ties here, wrap them around to the back, and of course, tie those in a nice little bow. And I have now created sleeves, right? Because everything is crossed over each other. It's all wrapped, and I now have my sleeves, my gorgeous collar, and my wonderful outfit is complete. It's so super simple to make this. Go make one. How adorable did this come out? I mean, okay, clearly it is way too cropped to wear just as a shirt. I don't think I'm that brave, but because this is so cropped, I had to go all the way through to the back of my wardrobe, and I rediscovered this gorgeous black jumpsuit that I had totally forgotten that I had. So it all worked out in the end, and now I have something that is old yet new to me once again to wear throughout the summer. So that is awesome. But do let me know if you're gonna make one of these. I think next time I try it, I'm going to use a more rectangular piece of fabric, because the square, even though it did come out absolutely adorable and perfect for wearing over a jumpsuit or maybe with something super high-waisted or over a dress, it can't be worn on its own. So I think a rectangular piece of fabric, you know, so it's longer in the front and in the back, is going to work out so much better. But you let me know down below if you're going to try to make one of these. Oh yeah, and how, come on. That's perfect. That is beautiful with this fabric. Just gorgeous. So I am very pleased with this refashion and definitely have to make more. But you know what time it is now? It is time for another Cool Things in My House. For this Cool Things in My House, I am sharing my absolutely amazing vintage hat box that I actually found by the side of the road. I mean, again, it is unbelievable to me, the cool things that people throw out because they think they're not useful. But you know what? This is incredibly useful because, just get it open here. First of all, it is in great condition. And, ooh, let's go see what I store in it. So on this side, I have my little vintage Raggedy Ann doll. And on this side, I have some awesome clothes and my super duper vintage Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls. Now let's take a closer look at them. How absolutely adorable are these? And these two were actually made sometime in the early 1950s, and I know that because they were made in my actual family. So they've been passed down for many years, and of course I will eventually pass them down to my own daughter, but for now they're still mine. So let's check out Andy first. I just adore his little face and his lovely little heart mouth. And you can see here, he did have a little bit of an accident. I'm not sure when, but somebody did mend him. And how adorable is his outfit with the patches and the buttons. And I think somewhere on Mr. Andy, there is a little kind of secret heart. And there it is on his chest. I love you. And Miss Raggedy Ann here, she has pretty much the identical face to her brother, and wonderful thick hair, adorable little apron, and of course, whoops, her bloomers. And she also has the adorable I love you embroidered heart on her. And here are their other outfits that came with them. So we have an adorable little dress here, and of course Andy's matching outfit, Anne's little apron. Oh, and here's Andy's hat. It never stays on his head, and I really don't want to sew it on, so it just lives in their adorable little suitcase. As always, please do let me know if you want to see more cool things in my house, because I got a lot of cool things to show you still, as well as if you would like me to get my staff of characters to do some more troll times, because I am never without enough troll comments that my lovely characters can, of course, answer in the most informative yet hilariously awesome way possible. And if you want to find out all of my tips and tricks and everything that I've taught myself over the years, go ahead and look through my ebook collection and be sure to enroll in my Rockin' Refashioning 101 eCourse, because absolutely everything you could possibly want to know about upcycling, refashioning, getting started thrifting vintage, how to spot vintage hand sewing machines. So it is all in there. I have packed so much into this fabulous course, and I am so super proud of it. And as always, remember as well, you get 50% off with the code REFASHION50. And the actual price of the course is only $99. So take 50% off of that with that lovely code. And yeah, you really can transform your wardrobe and your friend's wardrobe and just everyone's wardrobe and create, look, your own unique style out of things you already have lurking around your house. So yeah, go check it out. Everything is linked down below. And as always, please do stay safe, stay well, and I'll catch ya on the zigzag. This is so adorable. How adorable.
This is Confessions of a Refashionista.